Good morning. Welcome to the Pitch Light Chronicles. I am Uncle Taz. I am here with Rob and Donald, and it is Yamamoto Monday. Not even Monday. Not even Yamamoto. Yamo Monday. So we're supposed to be having this meeting today at some point, and the speculations are it's really a two-person race right now between the Yankees and the Mets. I think those are going to be the big players involved. I don't want to say that there's no other team that he's meeting with that's going to give a formidable offer, but when it comes to financial depth, I don't think there's any teams that can come close to the New York teams. My confidence level is like 99 right now that it's going to be with the Yankees. I think that when it comes down to the two New York teams, there's something about the Japanese players where when the Yankees are as interested as Alan Cashman have shown, they want to go where the history is. They want the prestige. And he would be our only Japanese player on the roster. So he would be that standalone Japanese star to have the back page. And the Mets would have Kodai Senga. So I'm feeling really good about this. Really good. I'm usually not this optimistic. Usually I'm very, you never know. Money talks. But it's got to be the Yankees. They can't miss out on this. How are you guys feeling about today with Yamamoto?
Confident. I'm excited. I hope we get him. I think it'll happen at the end of the week. I'd love for it to be today. I would love to hear that, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a wait because he's got a few meetings to go to and offers to come in, and he's got to take his time. Obviously, this is huge. He's going to get a big contract, so he's got to take his time and really think about it. But hopefully, it's us, and that'll pretty much solidify our offseason. If we end up finishing off this move that's taken 24 hours to finish with the Dodgers, then we can, I'm assuming we're going to get some bullpen arms there. We pretty much got our offseason complete if we can get Yamamoto done the end of the week. So I like that the Yankees are moving quick. I'm excited to hear how the meeting goes. Who's going to the meeting? We don't know. We thought Tanaka and Matsui would be there. Now it's saying they're not there. They're not going to be there. Heyman says they will. Martino says they won't. Nobody knows anything. This might be the worst reported offseason of all time, but we'll have to wait and see, but I'm excited, man. I've been watching his highlights, reading his scouting reports. I've read more stuff about Yamamoto over the last week than I read any textbook during my school years. So I can't wait to get this guy. If we get him in the rotation, it's going to be fun. He's electric. Hopefully we get it done. So let's see how flex that financial muscle, flash those pinstripes, flash those rings, and get him in here.
Donald,
smash that like button. Smash it. Smash it hard. Smash it good. Smash it good. Rob, tell me about what you've been learning about Mr. Yama.
Short summary, he's good. he's really freaking good. His stuff, everything about him is just like his fastball is electric. Even his delivery, he does a little like a slide step and then he taps the glove and then it just slings out of his hand. His curveball is unbelievable. That 12-6 drop, he's got so much movement. If that fastball moves a little bit, you're in trouble. The way it looks like it's rising. Like his fastball kind of looks like it moves up. It's unbelievable. His stuff is ridiculous. And every report you read about him, it just says he's ready for the bright lights. And he's probably the best guy to come out of Japan in terms of stats. Like this is how good he's been. So there's no surprise that this many teams are going after him, and that's why the price tag is going to reach potentially $300 million, which is unheard of for a player that's never thrown a pitch in the major leagues. But that tells you how special he is. The fact that teams are willing to be like, we know you've never played here, but we're willing to give you $300 million. Everybody in baseball knows how good this dude is, and they're going to pay him like he's a top star, and he pretty much is a top star. And I think he's going to be outstanding here in the major leagues. His stuff's going to play so well over here because the way it moves and the way he's fooling players. Japanese players are not bad. There's not that much of a talent difference anymore. Like the Japanese leagues have come way up over the years, and it's a lot of fun watching Japanese baseball. And I think he's going to fool just as many hitters over here.
Oh, I have no doubt that Yamamoto is going to be absolutely incredible. I think it's like normally people you haven't seen from the major leagues, you want to give them a chance to see what we got. Yamamoto, I'm 100% confident he's going to be phenomenal. There's no doubt about it. And I think it's going to go upwards of 300 million. I'm kind of with if I were here, 10-year, 300 mil, get it done. How I think it will reach 300, and I think that'll be the going rate. And I think it's get it done. I want this guy here. He's going to be incredible. Multiple MVP winner. His numbers are insane. Pitching no hitters. The dude's ridiculous. He's going to absolutely be incredible. As a Yankee. Mazza?
Well, he's the best pitcher to come out of Japan that we've seen in a long, long time. This guy is no joke. He's 25, multiple MVPs over there, multiple Cy Youngs over there. I mean, there's not a whole lot else that we can say about him without going over all of his accolades. I mean, this kid has stuff that I don't think anyone's ever seen before. I mean, the way, like Rob said, the way his stuff moves, the way his split breaks, the way his fastball rises, it's not fair that a team is about to land this kid and have that as a weapon in their rotation. It's really not fair to other teams, but you know what? It's baseball. And this kid's a special talent. And I think that we're going to be very lucky to get him. So I'm looking forward to the season, and he makes it that much more exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're able to get a Yamamoto in the rotation along with Cole and an improved year and a healthy year for Rodon, that's a three-headed monster for your starting rotation, along with a legitimate lineup. This is this all season that the Yankees have been waiting for. Well, not the fans have been waiting for, more so the Yankees. I'm sure it's killing them that they have to spend all this money, but hey, so what? You'll make it all back. They really needed to. We had said, I think every streaming channel that we're friends with has said, this is the offseason that's going to make or break the Yankees. Their reputation and the prestige lies solely on the moves they make this offseason after not making the playoffs. Forget the sweep from Houston. There was still the argument of, well, they were a playoff team that limped in. They crawled in with the injuries. Although that's their favorite excuse. They had to go balls out, and they are. We are seeing a Hal that we have not seen yet. And when you're able to hit him in the pocket with not, like I said, last week, not getting any of the playoff money, having half of your season ticket holders not even renew their tickets. I think that was the biggest blow to his ego.
Yep.
Was he was no longer able to rely on the past successes. We want new success. And I think he's listening to the narrative. Not so much fans specifically, but he's hearing the narrative throughout fan bases. Don't tell me that he doesn't look at social media. Don't tell me he doesn't listen to the radio. Believe me, they will never admit it, but they do. The only one I know that's ever admitted that they listen to the radio is Bryce Harper. But that's another story. I'm seeing a Hal that I never thought I would ever see. I'm actually really impressed with his aggressiveness.
Yeah.
You're even seeing a different tone from Cashman. As much as he puts his foot in his mouth, he's even kind of changing his the way he speaks. How do you guys feel about the way that the front office are we feeling more confident because of their aggressiveness?
Absolutely. I think there's a quiet confidence with the Yankees right now. I think that they get an A+ for the Soto deal. There's no aspects to it which is questionable. Basically, the headliner is a 30-year-old pitcher who's a converted reliever Very good one, but still, when compared to Juan Soto, and if you can get Soto to an extension, that would be one of the biggest steals. If we can somehow pull out a decent extension for Juan Soto, that trade package we gave up is a steal. It's already a steal in many ways. It's going to be an even bigger steal if they can get Soto extended, and only had to give up was Mike King as the headliner. That's an absolutely phenomenal piece of business. And their confidence is up. Their tails are up. And we've been hearing most of the offseason that the Yankees are ahead of the Yamamoto race. It's very much in our favor. We have a minority owner who's Japanese, who's friends with him. We have Brian Cashman, who's been going to lots of starts. The Yankees have had a representative going to all his starts this year. And I'm telling you what, if you look at his numbers, they are outrageous. His numbers are outrageous, people. So just this past year, 16-6, 23 games, only 22 earned runs, 121 ERA. 121 ERA with 169 strikeouts, including a complete game, 2 complete games, and one no-hitter to boot. So that was 2023. Last year, he had a 168 ERA. The year before that, a 139 ERA, 18-5. He's only 25 years old, and he's got 922 strikeouts. May I repeat that? 922 strikeouts, and he's only 25 years old. And he's got a 70-29 winning record with a career ERA of 182. And if you look at only the last 3 years, it's much less than that. The ERA is closer to like 140. He is outrageous. Right across the board, he's absolutely outrageous. His numbers are unheard of. 922 strikeouts, and he's only 25. Holy mackerel. So this guy is going to just ball out in the majors. And the Yankees have done everything right with the Yamamoto chase. They've done everything right.
Yeah.
Not only do they have the cachet, right, which speaks for itself in many ways, but the fact is the Yankees have made it known how much they love him. They've been going to his starts. They've been keeping tabs. They've been going to his complete games. They have been there. They have been there front and center the whole way through.
Also, just something else to think about are a couple of things. I think it was Tanaka who went to his house, spoke to his family and him, and actually sat down and had dinner with him at his house.
Right.
So they've done everything right. They've gone about this the right way. They've shown interest. They've paid respects to him by going to every one of his starts. Also, when your season ticket sale prices are down 40%, that's going to sting. So that was the statement that we needed. So that was like the slap in the face that Hal needed to wake up and get back to being the Yankees of old. So the fact that we not only did they lose 40% in ticket sales because of season ticket holders not renewing their season tickets, but also the fact that Hal was booed last year, as was Cashman. So let's not forget that. They were being literally kicked all through the mud. Their names and reputations were being dragged through the mud. And then for them to not do anything at the trade deadline last year and then come out with this bullshit excuse of, oh, well, we're a great team. This is a championship caliber operation. That pissed off fans. So then they're like, why are we going to even bother giving our money to this team that thinks they are a championship caliber operation when we all know they're not? So it was all of that compiled into this giant ball of shit that Hal had to deal with, and I think he was tired of dealing with it, and he wanted, and he's tired of having his name dragged through the mud. So the fact that they're being aggressive gives me a lot of confidence and me a lot of hope that they're going to actually, that they were going to do something to become better than they were last year.
Rob?
No, I think it's a good sign that they're being this aggressive and they're attacking their needs so quickly because it's still early December and you still have a long time until we get to the spring. But as I've said already, and we said the other night, if they get this done, all that's really left is filling out the bullpen, getting some extra arms, just, in case of emergency. And if this Dodger trade does go through within the next, decade, then we can find out who we're going to add to this roster. But yeah, I love the aggressiveness. And I saw a comment, well, where does his fastball sit? It's about 95. But he can get it up 98. There. Yeah, he can get it about to a 98, maybe 99. And his stuff is ridiculous. And he uses his fastball most of the time anyway. And that's what you want to see, especially in Major League Baseball. What did they do when Jordan Montgomery went to St. Louis? I'm use your fastball more, he got better. So
that's the same thing.
Use your fastball, and you're gonna get a lot of strikeouts. And the dude, like, I'm trying to pull up his strikeout percentage and the issue is in baseball now is like when you get to that third turn to the order, it's like, oh, how's he gonna fare? His strikeout percentage kind of gets better when he gets to the third turn to the order. First turn's about 28, then it goes second turn's about 24, and then third turn is 28 again. So he's like, it doesn't matter what part of the order he's facing, how many times he's gone through it, he's going to get you out. So his stuff's ridiculous, and there's a reason the Yankees want him. There's a reason the Mets want him, and all these other teams want him. But the Yankees are that full court press, as Donald said the other night, and they got to keep doing it. Keep doing it. Do it today when you're meeting with him. Put that offer on the table, and if you can, make sure he doesn't leave without accepting that offer. But I don't know if that's going to be the case. But just the fact that we could have our offseason solved within the next 3 days or so, if this gets done, let's say by Thursday or Friday, that's a great thing. And then you just make sure that you got your 26-man, your initial 26-man roster, and then you're going to let some things play out in the spring. But a rotation seems to be set if you get Yamamoto. Your bullpen's pretty much set, and it's just the bench. One more bench piece could be it, and unless you want to use Peraza as that guy. So they have options, and they have many guys they can move around to fill those spots. I love it. I love the aggressiveness. That's what we've been asking for. That's why when we said, and I said it, I'll use my own quote, the most important offseason in team history. I think this is it, and they're acting like it. You just got Juan Soto, and it's kind of gone on the back burner a little bit because Ohtani just signed with the Dodgers. But we can't forget that even if it's for 1 year, we just got a generational talent to add to our lineup.
The best player in baseball.
Right. And we can't forget that Verdugo is a major upgrade compared to what we had in our outfield last year. And now you could add potentially the best pitcher to ever come out of Japan, or the best pitcher to come out of Japan statistically. We'll see how Sasaki fares in a couple of years, but that's huge. And you've made an already good team. I think the Yankees are a good team healthy, but they're now an even better team. And you've gone from an 82-win team to a serious World Series contender. I think we're already third in terms of the betting odds of World Series favorites, just with the Juan Soto acquisition. If we get Yamamoto, you might see us neck and neck with the Dodgers. So that's big. And the Yankees are acting like this is a make or break off season. And that's what I wanted to see. That's what we all wanted to see. So now you get that roster put together. You get the guys you wanted. Let's go to war. That's what I've been saying. And also, there's like 38 people in here, so please hit that like button. Thank you to everyone that's subscribed, because we gained like 30 some odd subscribers in the last week, which is crazy. We're on the push to 500. So thank you to everybody that's been in here, because it's been insane watching the numbers grow. And I want to speak on behalf of the channel. We all appreciate it. We're all doing a hell of a job here. And thank you to everybody that joined us on the Pinstripe Express the other night. That was a hell of a lot of fun, and I can't wait to do it again.
I just want to use I'm going to use my quote as well. That Verdugo trade makes that Juan Soto trade look even better, just because of what we gave up for him, which the headlining piece was Michael King, and they're already saying that Michael King is not a frontline starter. That's what multiple reports are saying, that he is not a frontline starter. he is maybe a 2 or a number 3. So that Verdugo trade already makes that Juan Soto trade genius because of how little we have given up for both of those trades. I mean, did it sting on the pitching side? Yes. We gave up 6 different pitchers to get, or 7 different pitchers, whatever the number is. We gave up a lot of arms. But that doesn't matter as long as we look at the bigger picture, which is these guys are here. They're here to help us, and they are both very familiar with winning. Verdugo with the Red Sox and Soto with the Nationals in 19. So they are both very well aware and very used to winning. So they're going to bring that winning attitude to this lineup, and they stretch that lineup out so much that you have so many options that you can mix and match with and that you can play around with, that we are a much more dangerous lineup than we've been in years. Probably
it's
09 season.
It's been wild. I mean, this whole season, it's always slow to start, but once it gets going, there've been a tremendous amount of comments. But I like this comment here from Chris. It's not bad aggressiveness either. Like they're being stupid. They're going out and getting the best for what we need for this team. I think that's what's been most impressive. And if you're not following Chris the Flash on his YouTube channel, go in and check him out.
I don't know what you're missing, but
we've been saying all along, the Yankees are not cheap. Right? They spend money every offseason. But this is the first season we're actually seeing them put they're putting everything in the right place. They're not being stupid aggressive. You know what I mean? We had to get Rodon. We had, even with the trade deadline, I think that's what really was like the final nail in the coffin where we were like, you know what, we're done. Screw you guys, we're going home. It was the Montage trade. Trading for somebody that was injured. Not doing their due diligence with the medicals. You're seeing a lot of holdups with medicals this year when it comes to deals with the Yankees. I know the Soto one was more on the Padres side, but they had a lot more medical history to go through.
Yes.
So you're just seeing a new leadership team in that front office. It's freaking great. We got Brian here, my favorite critic. The Nerds are currently in a coma as they're not used to having so many left-handers contact and walk guys in a lineup before they don't know what to do. Good. Keep as far away from this as possible. Real quick, I saw Cisco was in the chat. Want to thank him for hopping on. Thanks for hanging out with us in the chat the other night. Looks like FL Diver JC. Thanks. I think this is your first time here. I want to thank you for hanging out with us. If you like what we're doing, hit the like button, hit the sub button. But let's welcome him into the family. In the past few years, that's one thing we've been doing well, developing young pitchers. That's why with this Yamamoto, this could be the end. This could be the last big move that we need to make. Because you'll have Cole, Yamamoto, Rodon, and then you still have Cortez and Schmidt, who I would feel as a 4 and 5, I think that's pretty legitimate.
Yeah.
Just remember Montgomery was our number 5 guy, and we were happy with that. Because you knew he was at least going to get the innings. You weren't going to just go 4 innings with him. He can give you 5 or 6. I think you're going to see the same thing with Schmidt. Nestor, he's got to bounce back. I know some people are saying, if you have to trade Nestor for a reliever, we'll see. But I don't think that makes sense. You don't get rid of pitching to increase your pitching. So the rotation, I think, could be just fine. I think if we make one more move, like with this trade with the Dodgers, right? We can speculate on this right now. If we're able to get a legitimate closer, then I think it's game over. I think that the division is very secure.
the bullpen's already good, and I think this Dodgers trade, we would probably get 2 bullpen arms. They have a few lefties on their 40-man, and if we want to believe Rosenthal over Sherman, he says we're going to get 2 40-man players, where Sherman says we'd get a bottom of the roster guy and a prospect for a non-40-man prospect. So I don't know who to believe, but there's been dead silence about that since about 3:00 yesterday. But if we can get Victor Gonzalez, that'd be great. They have Ryan Yarborough, who's a veteran that could spot start in case you need it. He's a long relief kind of guy. If you got those 2 arms from the Dodgers, that'd be fantastic. And who we give up, I don't know. But the Yankees right now, they need left-handed relief pitching because they don't have any. The only one they have is Nick Ramirez, and I don't want him on the roster next year. He's not good. He's a white flag type of pitcher. You put him in there when the game's over, or you got a big lead, or you're down by 10. So we need a couple of lefties, at least one, and they have about 4 on their 40-man. They have to clear 2 spots for Ohtani and Joe Kelly. So if we can get Gonzalez, I'd be ecstatic. And there's a guy, Alex Vesia. Some of their guys' numbers aren't fantastic, but we've seen Matt Blake work wonders with guys who come in with high ERAs. So if they throw a sinker, Matt Blake's going to love you. So let's just see who we get. I'm hoping we get a couple of lefties. That'd be fantastic. And fill out that bullpen. Go get Yamamoto, and I think it's done. I think the offseason's pretty much finished at that point. You've attacked your 2 outfielder needs. You've attacked your number 2 starter, your number 3 starter. Bush would be a good ad as well, Damian. You're right. And you finish up your bullpen, and now you're just ready for spring training. And that's a really good thing to have completed before Christmas. That would be huge.
Yeah.
So I just hope we can get this done. I'm refreshing constantly. Yeah, get some lefties, man. Absolutely. I'm refreshing constantly since 3:00 yesterday, seeing when this trade's going to go down. And I know Pete was live for like 12 hours. Poor Pete was, and Dane was with them too. And these guys are like, what the fuck is the holdup? And how are you not report? How is it in medicals at 3 p.m. and here we are 10:30 in the morning the next day and nothing? So was there ever a trade? Who is feeding these guys the information? I don't know if you guys saw it, but did you see that apparently Ohtani's camp, I don't know if it's true or not, but they made up the flight stuff just to fool reporters, and Morosi bought into it? That's insanity. They are messing with these reporters this year. I don't know if that's true or not, but the Canadians are angry, which is great. So as many angry Canadians be angry.
The only one I feel bad for is Blue Jays dad, because he's such a everybody else, I'm glad they got fooled.
I do like this comment, though, from NFE, which is they're not just throwing crap at the wall and see what sticks. They're being calculated.
Absolutely.
And you guys have been saying it for the last 2 years or so. I've been saying it for a while. Jason's been saying it for a while. Pete's been saying it for a while. And I'm going to quote Pete on this, but they needed to be creative.
Yeah.
And that's what they've been. They've been very creative, and they haven't just thrown crap at the wall to see what sticks this offseason. It's not like last year where they decided to put, a fucking infielder in the outfield to see if that would stick. And look how that turned out. No, they actually went out and got the necessary pieces. The only thing that concerns me is our closer situation, because we don't have a closer. Clay Holmes is not a closer. We need to get off that train. That train is long gone. Clay Holmes is not a closer.
I've never been more confident, though, that Cashman's actually going to look at these every area now, because I want to quote Brian Cashman. He said the other day, I want to make the Yankees the mecca of baseball. That's it. That was his quote. We want to make the Yankees the mecca of baseball.
Well, it was like that until they decided to be the Rays.
They ain't done yet. They ain't done. I think Cashman can look at every area to improve. What did he say last week? What did he say last week? He said that, well, first of all, that they weren't done. But, he said last week there was very few untouchables. So the way he has been aggressive this offseason, I have no doubt that he's going to look at other areas in which to attack it. It looks like Hal Steinbrenner has given him the free rein to go and increase the payroll, because if you're going to go and sign Yamamoto and you're going to go sign Soto, there's obviously been flexibility there. And I would not doubt that we're going to make a deal for a reliever. Whether it's this deal with the Dodgers or not, because there's some reports that are saying that this is just, this is going to clear 2 40-man spots for the Dodgers. So maybe it's a very small move, but I have no doubt that the Yankees will add a reliever, whether it's free agency or via trade. The Yankees will add a reliever. They will definitely do it. There's no question about it in my mind. And I hope that that's a closer, but it might be one of those guys where he can grow into the closer role. Maybe it's one of those situations where they don't want to affect Clay Holmes' confidence. Maybe they're like, Clay, you got a shot for spring, right? You'll get the closer job for spring, but but we got this guy waiting in the wings, or see how that. Maybe there'll be a competition in that particular department. So I think we will definitely add a reliever, a good one, a high-end reliever. So that's something I'm going to keep an eye out on. Another thing that was great was in this deal for Soto, the Yankees kept a hold of Chase Hampton. This is a guy that averages 10.3 strikeouts per 9 innings. This is a guy that's going to get better, and he's one of our better pitching prospects. So we didn't actually clear out our pitching in the minors by any stretch of the imagination. You're looking at a situation where we've still got Clark Schmidt, who's going to be in a rotation, and you've still got some good arms in the minor leagues. We've got Chase Hampton and Somerset. So there are arms that we've still got, and we're keeping a hold of, that we can still develop. And if we get Yamamoto, the only position we're in is looking at a back end starter / long reliever and a high end setup man / closer. And yes, I agree. I think we're done. And that's amazing. The fact that, considering where we were at the start of this offseason with a barren landscape and just smart moves, aggressive moves, has changed the whole landscape to now, instead of being, okay, let's maybe see if we can get ourselves into the 90-win range. Now we're in a position where, hey, let's go and make this team the mecca of baseball that Cashman wants, and we can compete with the Dodgers for a World Series. That's what I've been seeing. If we get Yamamoto plus Soto and a high-end reliever, and then one other arm, we might even re-sign Frankie Montas on a 1-year deal, incentive-laden deal, and I wouldn't totally hate that either, as long as we bring in Yamamoto. So yeah. There's a lot to be positive about, and when I'm just reading the tea leaves here, it's aggressive, man. Cashman's aggressive. When Cashman speaks aggressively, it's a pretty good sign that he's going to be aggressive. And he will take that mentality to the Yamamoto meeting. I have no doubt that he's going to throw his rings on the table, and he's going to be like, you come here, you got a chance to win a ring, And he's like, I got it. I got CC Sabathia. I've got Tanaka. I've brought these guys here, Matsui. I've got the resume. I have brought in the big names, I've traded for A-Rod, and you go through it, and then, and how could he not be like, yeah, this is probably the organization to go with? Because what have the Mets got?
I don't have shit.
What have they got to offer? They don't have any history. The last time they were good was like the 80s. So for our one lucky World Series appearance, where they got shafted by the Royals, then they've really got no history attached to them. The only thing that they've got is cold money. Fantastic, but without money, what are they? Nothing. So I'm sorry, it's not really a competition. It isn't. And it's no disrespect to the Met fans who are very loyal and stuff to their team, but they don't have anything to offer. They're just they've always been the little brother. It's not even me spreading my peacock feathers as the Yankee fan. They always are. They've got that mentality. Look at that SNY embarrassment where a guy is basically pleading, Please come here, please, please, please. You're embarrassing yourselves, honestly. The Yankees don't need to do that. The Yankees can march in, go. We've had Tanaka, we've had Matsui. we can give
Corona.
you whatever you want. You've got Broadway, and you've got 27 championships behind you, and we're looking to add 28. Right? You've got that, or you got the Mets, who haven't been good since the 80s.
It's like one of those.
They haven't been
you know,
good since everyone was snorting cocaine. So let's be honest, right? So since sport has changed significantly, where people actually look after their health, the Mets haven't been any good. So come on, give me a freaking break. Sign for the Yankees. Let's go.
Well, the funny thing is, because you see in the with the Mets, where the Yankees are going after Yamamoto, saying, this is what we have to offer. The Yankees are selling the Yankees. The Mets are selling on not to go to the Yankees.
Yeah,
they have nothing to bring to the table. So that's my thought on that. But I want to rewind just really quick because I think I'm onto something with the way that this offseason's going. I started to say that they're not they stopped trying to be the Rays, and they're getting back to their own identity. This is the Yankees that we were always, we look forward to the offseason, see, right, who else are we going to get, to be a part of this machine. And this is the first offseason since 2009 that we've really seen, maybe 13, 14. They were aggressive. It just didn't work out. But you're starting to see the Yankees come back into their own and not trying to be another organization because it was working for them. It doesn't necessarily work for us. That's something, that we've been saying on this channel in the 4 years that we've been around. That this is something that, needed to happen and just never did. And it's about time that they're getting back into, they're actually being themselves again. So,
yeah,
Rob?
I saw something interesting. I forgot who it was from on Twitter yesterday, but they said like this could be Randy Levine saying, you know what, fuck it. The Rays are spending our money already because we have to give these guys our money on the luxury tax. We might as well spend our own money on our own team instead of, I think it might have been Bobby Malone. I can't remember exactly who it was that put it on Twitter, but I'm like, if that's the case, I'm going to give a little bit more respect to that dork Randy Levine because I still don't like him, but maybe he's had a wake-up call too. It's like, well, why don't we spend our own money on our own team instead of letting the other teams spend our money on their teams? And so that's a revelation they should have had years ago, but it's a good thing they're having it now because they're gonna shatter the $300 million payroll mark. If they get Yamamoto, it's going well over. And the only way to get it to go under is to trade a few people away like Verdugo and Torres and maybe Canely. But I don't think they do that. I think they just say, screw it. The number's going to drop significantly next year. So if we got to pay a premium and luxury tax this year, it'll drop next year. You could probably still get under that third threshold next year, even if you bring in Yamamoto and re-sign Soto with the money you have coming off the books. So I think that this year they're going all in and they can still have a really good team next year. And if you do lose Soto, you still kept your big outfield prospects in Dominguez and Jones to fill in, assuming they are good players. And I think they will be. So the Yankees have done everything right. And it's everything that we've been asking for, the aggressiveness, getting the move done, telling the Padres, hey, you're not going to get a better offer than this. No one is going to give you 5 players, especially 4 pitchers, for a rental. And we're also going to take a pretty meh player off of your hands so you can save even more money. No other team's going to do that for you. Now you're going to go to Yamamoto and be like, we can give you the money. We can give you the prestige that you've been seeking. He's already bought into the Yankee way. He likes the Yankee way. And you can sell him on, you're going to be the number 2 behind the Cy Young. And we got a great lineup that's ready to go to battle right now where the Mets still have some work to do. It's what I said the other night. I don't want to keep throwing a bunch of shade on the Mets because I think they're going to be a better team or a solid team this year, but we're in a better position to win now and next year. And the Mets they still have a lot more work to do. If we get Yamamoto, our work is done. It's like, hey, this is the team. It's set. It's ready to go. The Mets still have to fill in rotation needs, lineup needs. Because I think it was Chris that brought it up the other night. He's like, who's their number 2 right now? Sevy, Quintana. Sevy's coming off a terrible season. I love him, but he's not a great pitcher. The fact that he got $13 million is insane to me. And Quintana's coming off an injury as well. So Where's their rotation? What's their bullpen like? Because their bullpen was a disgrace last year, and they got some work to do. And their lineup was overpaid, and they had to move several pieces just to clear some money last year. Like you got Alonso and Lindor. Marte has not been the player they hoped he would be. So
Neither's Lindor.
yeah, neither has Lindor, but he's been a little bit better than the other guys. But like that's it. Where the Yankees have Judge and Soto and Rizzo and Stanton and Torres and Verdugo and Volpe and eventually Dominguez. Like, come on, like we are in a much better position. So the Mets and their SNY cronies can plead, they can cry, they can beg all they want. Lecott can rub his head like a genie and scream about it all he wants. He's a, I almost said it, but Yamamoto, the best choice would be to go to the Yankees. If it's between Yankees and Mets, the better chance to win is Yankees and Mets. Now, I still think there's a chance that Boston sneaks in there. I've been saying it. I don't want to discredit them because they're willing to spend. But if it's between the Yankees and Mets, it's just about Cohen can flash the wallet, the Yankees can flash the wallet and the trophies and the rings, and the Mets can flash a little bit of the white of that they had in the 80s that could help them get that championship. What are you going to pick? Come on, Yama. Come on. Like, it's not even close. You got to come to the Bronx. It's a better borough anyway. Who wants to play in Queens? Come on, you coming to the Bronx.
Also, the Yankees have picked a direction. When was the last time we were able to say that? They picked a direction. They finally got their heads out of their asses and picked a fucking direction. Their direction is to win. That's the first thing. The second thing, I don't know if you saw this, but who does this look like to you?
I can't even see your screen with the shit.
I just see a guy with a chick.
Oh, I'm trying to get it so you guys can. It's Josh Hader.
Oh.
Josh Hader cut his fucking hair. Now, I know we need a closer.
No. Wait a minute. I'm going to cut you off real quick, Lazzy. Right? Don't say that name because you know who will pop into this chat. He'll
Oh, wrong.
The trade went through. The trade went through.
Oh.
So we don't. So, Chris, I saw your comment and I went to Twitter from Alden Gonzalez. We gave up Trey Sweeney for Victor Gonzalez and Jorbit Vivas. So we got a pitcher, left-handed pitcher, Gonzalez, who I really wanted, and Vivas is a third baseman, second baseman. So we gave up an infielder, got back another, and we still added a left-handed relief pitcher. If that's the move, I'm thrilled with that because now Jorbit can potentially be that utility infielder off the bench if they use him that way. That's a solid move. I like Trey Sweeney, but there was nowhere to put him.
Yeah. Now
there's nowhere to put Trey Sweeney.
Who is that infielder that you said we got, Rob?
Jorbit. I hope I'm saying his name right. It might be Jorbit. Vivas. Okay. Vivas. That's a good move.
Did you ever think that we could flip Vivas for another pitcher if we wanted? Because he's blocked. You know what I'm saying? Vivas is blocked.
But he gives you another man on the 40 man because Sweeney wasn't there. I mean, they could have just added Sweeney, but Sweeney's more of that guy that if you put him on there, you want him to play. Where if Vivas can play a couple of positions, then you might want to just keep him on the bench just in case. I don't know about him. I'm going to look him up, but I like Gonzalez a lot. And I like Trey Sweeney too, but it's unfortunate, but he was blocked. There's nowhere to put him. First base, even nowhere to put Sweeney.
We got a left-handed pitcher, which we needed, which you were talking about, Rob. So we got the left-handed pitcher that we wanted, which is good. And then we got another infielder that, we can have on the side, or we could try to flip him either or. It's a nice move. As much as I like Trey Sweeney, I just think it was better that we sent him off to a team that's going to actually play him because we didn't have any room for him. So, anyways,
here's Victor Gonzalez's numbers. I've got Victor Gonzalez's numbers. 2020, he was incredible. 3-0 with a 1.33 ERA. 2021, solid 3-1, 3.57 ERA. Last year, not great for a 1 ERA, but a good postseason ERA of just 2.70 ERA. So I like the numbers. If we can get Matt Blake to work with him and get him to closer to 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
Victor Gonzalez, then we're laughing. But yeah, lefty reliever, solid lefty reliever.
Sinker baller. He throws 63% sinkers.
Okay. So
Come on, that's that. Matt Blake loves him already. He's salivating.
Right. That's in the Matt Blake wheelhouse right there.
And I'm looking up Vivas's numbers. He's actually coming off a pretty solid year. He hit 13 homers, 63 ribbies, stole 25 bases, a near 800 OPS. Career-wise,
nice.
has 39 homers, 805 OPS in the minors, and he's only 22, and he's a lefty. So it's kind of like you swap Sweeney for him, and you got the left-handed reliever that you desperately needed. I really like Sweeney. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I think Sweeney's going to have a chance to play with LA as soon as this year because they don't really have a future at third, and maybe even they don't really know how their infield is going to shape up. So I think this move makes sense for both teams. Dodgers clear 2 spots. They get a solid bat in Sweeney, a guy that can play at second or third or even short. Yankees get a bench piece, a guy that can fill in, and they get the left-handed reliever. I think it works out perfectly.
Absolutely.
Now, I want to bring up two comments right now. First, I want to bring up what was it? Ramendo 77. Thanks for joining the chat, hanging out with us. Hope you're enjoying the show. Yeah, Dodgers 40 minutes stacked. I think that we all know. That's why we were very curious of the players involved because of how deep their 40 man is.
Yeah.
And also this from Jonathan. Yorban Vivas is second baseman. Does that mean Torres is even more on the trade block?
It's very possible.
That could be very possible that they're trying to put their chips in a row. So if God forbid that the Yamamoto thing falls apart, they could still use Torres to get a legitimate starter in a trade to pitch behind Cole, and along with Rodon for that 2-3 spot. And you still have the second base depth because you could always just slide Peraza to third and put LeMahieu at second or vice versa. So you're not, the Yankees, I think that's the key word this offseason. Everything feels so calculated with what they're doing. This is impressive.
Yeah.
And Vivas was also a top 10 prospect for the Dodgers. So I think Sweeney was our number 8. So it's a swap of 2 top 10 guys, infielders. One's on the 40-man, one isn't. Dodgers clear their spots, and the Yankees, again, I can't stress it how much we needed that left-handed relief pitcher. Because if Nick Ramirez was our guy, I was going to scream. But now we can use an Edgar Barclay in case we need him. And I think the bullpen right now is shaping up to be almost done. I mean, you got Gonzalez. We know Holmes is there. Canley's still there. Marinacio's an option. Barclay's going to be an option. The guy we picked up from Pittsburgh, De Los Santos, he's good. We can't forget about him. The bullpens look. I forgot Loizaga. We got some names there. We got a strong bullpen.
F. Ross coming back.
F. Ross is coming back as well whenever he's ready. So I think that's solid. Now it's full court press for Yamamoto.
I wouldn't be mad if we had a Jordan Hicks, honestly. I wouldn't.
Yeah, you can still go out and get him too.
Jordan Hicks throws a sinker. Matt Blake's specialty. We know this. We've seen it. Look, did you guys ever hear of Clay Holmes before he came over to the Yankees? No. Guy had a high 5 ERA. He comes over. Matt Blake fixes him up. He is now mid-2 ERA. I wouldn't be surprised if they added Jordan Hicks. I wouldn't be surprised at all because they have been linked to him as well, and they were linked to him last year when he was with the Cardinals. So it wouldn't surprise me in any way, shape, or form if they went out and signed Jordan Hicks to a 2 or 3 year deal just to give him a shot in the Bronx. And I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Blake fixed him up too.
So we've had 74 people in the chat. Well, hit the like button, people. Whoever's been watching, who hasn't hit the like button, please hit the like button. We broke a trade live on air. The last time we did that, actually, was when DJ LeMahieu re-signed.
Yep.
You remember that back in the old days when we were the Yankee Chronicles. So this is awesome. Good job by Rob. Broke a good trade. Happy with the trade. Excited by this deal. And you know what? This further goes into what Mazda was saying. The Yankees have picked a direction. They're going for it. They are going for it. These are smart moves to help us immediately. These are moves designed to improve us immediately, but also with a hint of the long term as well. Smart deal, under the radar deal that could work out really, really well. Both names I like, and I do agree. I think Gonzalez will be closer to the 2021 Gonzalez than 2023 Gonzalez once Matt Blake gets to work on his sinker. I have no doubt about that. So I think that's a smart deal, and I like the prospect we picked up too. Let's go. Let's freaking go. So hit the likey button. Let's go.
Fireside Yankees was the one who also broke it. Just putting that out there.
All right. Yeah, it's hard to find a legitimate source. Fireside's been pretty, Fireside's been good. Actually, Bobby Malone's another one. Forget all these stupid beat writers. They're just looking for clicks. They're not looking to get the right information out. But no, the calculation is remarkable. I'm stunned. The only thing I'm stunned about, and we'll wrap it up soon. But you're seeing a lot of relievers' names being dropped in the chat, except for one. Who we have not, they have not mentioned wanting to go after Hader. They've used every name possible, but somebody even mentioned Mr. Cortez as a closer.
No.
If we get out the right rotation.
No.
A year ago,
I would use him as a long reliever, not a closer.
No way. He does not have closer stuff, man.
No, like a year or 2 years ago, maybe, but not at this stage. I think that window closed.
No, he is someone to keep batters off rhythm.
Yeah.
That's his style. He's a thinking man's pitcher. That's someone that you want over 5 innings. That's someone you'd want
as a long reliever.
Over 6 innings tops. That's not someone who is a closer. You need closer stuff. You need something with one elite pitch that is dominant, that is powerful. That's what you want from a closer. We love Nasty Nestor, but let's face it, none of his pitches are elite. He keeps batters off rhythm with his excellent use of windups and different arm deliveries. That's how he gets guys out with his mind. Smart pitches. Having said that, what we saw this past year was that the scouting report is out on him. He was throwing a cutter in on guys, and then it was absolutely going into the wheelhouse of a lot of righty batters, and they were just crushing him for it. So he's got to find a different way going into next year, how to find a way to get batters out. I don't doubt that he will, because I think he's a very, very good pitcher. There's no way that you could be an all-star 2 years ago and not be a very, very good pitcher. But that's it does a disservice to him, and it would be a terrible idea to make him a closer. So as much as I'm not a fan of Clay Holmes, he does have one elite pitch, and that's his sinker. It is a power sinker, and that's something that works well. It's not consistent enough. So you do need another closer, but Nasty Nestor is a mid to back end starter, and there's no way in hell he is ever a closer.
No, and he's a fine number 5 starter. He's a guy that can give you 5, maybe 6 innings tops. I mean, you can't forget he was pitching hurt last year. Like many of our guys are playing hurt last year. Nestor is, and again, you look at his stats. First 4 innings, he was really good. And then once he got to that third turn, he broke apart because he was pitching hurt. So his stuff just fell off after a certain amount of pitches. If he's 100%, Aaron Boone said he thinks he's going to be ready to go. He should be ready to go. He can go. He doesn't have to go back to that all-star form. He can just go and be 5-inning guy, 6-inning guy at the bottom of your rotation and pitch to a maybe high 3, even low 4 ERA, like you got out of Jameson Tyone a few years ago. That'd be fine. You're not going to complain about that because he's not going to make a lot of money. He's at the bottom of your rotation. The biggest key to this rotation is not Cole. It's not Yamamoto if we get him. It's not even Clark Schmidt. To me, it's Rodon. If Rodon returns to the form he was a couple of years ago with San Francisco, we don't have to worry about our number 5 starter. Nestor Cortez can just ease into the role, give you a few solid innings, and you're like, all right, Nasty Nestor, you do you. But if Rodon and he's going to have so much off of his shoulders. I know he's making a lot of money. No one wants to hear that, but if he's just kind of just lurking as a number 3 starter, remember what we said about Montas last year? If he was healthy, he's a number 5 starter. No one's going to care. He could have just eased back and got into a better season, but he was hurt. If Rodon can do the same thing, he's going to hold. He's the kind of glue, in my opinion, that's going to hold this thing together, because we know Cole is Garrett Cole. If Yamamoto is here, we don't have to worry about Yamamoto. His stuff is absolutely filthy, and Rodon is absolutely filthy. So when Rodon is on and he's not hurt, he's a really good pitcher. He's your number 3. Cortez, a former All-Star from 2 years ago, he's a number 5 starter. And Clark Schmidt, who for the second half of last season was like really good. He was really reliable as your number 4. That rotation's pretty stacked. And I think Rodon is the key there. So Nestor Cortez as a closer, absolutely not. Luis Heel as a potential closer of the future, maybe, because his stuff can play really well out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
Plus 90s, 95 plus fastball, really good breaking stuff. That's more closer. Nestor Cortez throwing 92 with a little bit of windup funkiness. Plus, most of the time you get a pitch out of the stretch as a closer anyway. I don't really like that. So keep Nestor as a number 5. And if he has another rough year, you have guys that can fill in like Will Warren and Clayton Beaters. So I think we'll be okay there with the rotation.
Yeah, I think with the depth of our bullpen, I think Nestor would do just fine. Leave him as a starter. Because keep in mind, last year he had the injury. The injury problems. We just really never, like Rodon, just never really got into his rhythm. The year before that, right, and there's something that I was very concerned about. By the All-Star break, he had already reached his career innings in a season pitched, and he still had another half a season to go. And he was, we were almost calling him an ace at that point. He was pitching phenomenal the first half. And then he started to fall off a little bit, and they started really monitoring his innings. He also tried going into the WBC to kind of strengthen his arm a little bit, and it just backfired. I'm expecting a much better season from. I think we're going to see like 2021 Cortez this year.
Great point here, JC. We can use Nestor like how we used Ramiro Mendoza. Ramiro Mendoza was one of the underrated Yankees of that dynasty era, man. I loved Mendoza. He was your jack of all trades, utility guy, like utility knife, where he would just be the perfect fifth starter, at a pinch fourth starter, or excellent reliever. He was just one of those guys that could do it all. Always liked Ramiro Mendoza. So if Nestor Cortez is compared to Ramiro Mendoza, that is definitely not doing a disservice to Nestor Cortez or Mendoza. That's a compliment, if anything. So well said, man. Well said.
Yep.
I mean, it'll be fun to watch this year. Like I said, this is the most excited I've been about a Yankee season, or going into a Yankee season, that I've been in quite some time. They have a direction. They know what they want to do. They figured it out. They are making moves. They're making moves expeditiously, because years ago we would have never seen, like, if there would have been preliminary talks and whatnot, great, but they wouldn't have capitalized on it. And really, I think all of these moves really got started was when the Padres and the Yankees started exchanging names, and that's when everything started to pick up. Great, you get Verdugo. Great, you get Soto. Great, you're on the verge of possibly landing Yamamoto, but you know what I'm saying? It's like everything picked up for the Yankees just the second that they started throwing names out with San Diego to get Juan Soto. That's where everything, I feel like, began, and that's why I'm excited about this season, because they're being aggressive but calculated at the same time.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. It's been fun to be an observer. It's been fun to report on, talk about, break down with everybody. Daddy's going to wrap things up for us this morning. We hope everybody does enjoy the rest of their day. I will be back tonight at midnight, as always, on the midnight Pinstripes After Dark. So make sure you check that out as well. I'll be comparing the Yankees this offseason to a very, very popular movie that everybody likes, and it's something that you would not expect. It's I've been working on trying to figure this out. And
Color me
it's
intrigued.
gonna be a lot of fun. I'll tell you backstage. I'll give you the sneak peek. But you want to hear?
But Tats doesn't watch movies, so
Yeah, 4 years and him not
that's
being a
what
movie
makes
guy.
it interesting.
interesting.
You think
okay.
you know somebody.
That's what makes it intriguing. So now you all got to come around at midnight and hang out. But that's gonna wrap things up for us. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell the strangers standing on the corner. This has been the Pinstripe Chronicles. And as I always say, wear your pinstripes with pride and play hard.
Salute.